it sort of upends everything we thought we knew about the founding of our nation.
It is sort of a once-in-a-lifetime story that just is stranger than fiction, that is actually has great historic importance, and just is a lot of fun to explore and to uncover.
It's just a kind of an almost forgotten history.
As somebody who lives here, who's a citizen of the city, it's something that I take great pride in, that we live in literally live in the cradle of American independence, whether people know it or not.
The story of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence begins on May 19th when 26 local Scotch-Irish Presbyterian militia leaders are meeting at the log courthouse in the center of Trade and Tryon Street, when they receive word from a writer that the battles of Lexington and Concord have occurred exactly 1 month before. And they go ballistic. And over the series of 24 hours, they debate and resolve upon a series of resolutions that we now know as the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence. And they proclaim themselves, quote, free and independent, close quotes, of Great Britain. And this is the first Declaration of Independence in the American colonies.
Thomas Polk read that right at the county courthouse at Trade and Tryon, and he read the Declaration we call it MecDec. And people got so excited, they threw their hats in the air and they were doing huzzahs and that sort of thing.
They did it 14 months before Thomas Jefferson did. That's a big, important distinction, because when the men of Charlotte, the MecDecers we call them, when the people in Charlotte did it here, I mean, I'm sorry, it was way more badass. It was way more ahead, it was way more, we're risking our lives.
It's an urban legend, and there's a great body of evidence that it's true. However, the original papers are gone, and they'll never be found. So no one can conclusively point to one piece of paper and say, this is the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence. And thus, there's a controversy about whether it's real, whether it's something of a hoax, whether it's an inflated story by various eyewitnesses 50 years later. And the historians on both sides are not fully satisfied, which is part of the fun of the story, frankly.
I am a descendant of the Alexanders. Several of them were signers of the original Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence. We have actually a commitment to share this history. There is an idea that Charlotte doesn't have history, but the story is there, and the history is so rich. It's over 250 years old, and this is our opportunity to let people know that we have it and that we're proud of it, and it deserves to be heard.
MecDec demonstrates what I think is, it epitomizes the spirit of Charlotte and its early settlers.
The May 20 Society is a local nonprofit organization which commemorates the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence. So we started this group 25 years ago for purposes of sort of revitalizing this local commemoration that had largely been forgotten.
The May 20th Society, their role has been critical. You know, because of apathy, whether it was sort of from a civic leader or just citizenship, the MecDec was dying. It was sort of becoming a folktale. It was being forgotten. And the May 20th Society really rescued it from obscurity and built it back into what it is now, which is, I think it's going to be a national sensation and a sort of thing of great regional pride. We're getting ready to celebrate the 250th anniversary, the semi-quincentennial celebration of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence on May 20th, 2025.
We used to have huge parades. In fact, I have an 1886 newspaper that John Belk gave me, just the front page, that had a picture of the huge parade that they had going up and down Trade Street and Tryon. And we had 5 presidents came here and led those parades. It's so exciting.
In 1954, President Eisenhower came to Charlotte. In 1975, the 200th anniversary of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence, President Ford came for that celebration, and both of those two events were at Freedom Park. My father organized and led both of the efforts to hold the celebrations at Freedom Park, and hosted President Eisenhower, hosted President Ford.
I hope that for the 250th celebration, we get the president or the vice president. I hope we have ticker tape parades and fireworks and the whole 9 yards. You know, that's how we used to celebrate it here in Charlotte. And I think it's worthy of that celebration every year, but certainly for our 250th anniversary.
The 250th anniversary of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence is a generational opportunity to put a light back on this important local commemoration.
I mean, for me, the ultimate for this would be if we could get back to that. Not just because it's proper to honor the men who were brave enough to first declare it, but because this is something that could be, you know, a calling card for Charlotte, could be important for North Carolina.
Delegates assembled here in Charlottetown.
It should be a celebration. It should be a party. Like that's what I want to be a part of MecDec Palooza 250 and beyond.